everyone. Welcome back. I'm Jeffrey Allen, and you've made it to day 5. And this is really exciting because this means that you've already activated that base level of spiritual fitness with your spatial awareness. Remember, I said there were 6 steps that we go through. So first day you did this self-assessment, and we started to change your habit of closing your eyes and opening your eyes and staying present. Second day, we went through a easy success where you were able to stretch your awareness to different places in your body. And the third day, we did the challenge day where you're able to move your awareness around to different places in your body. Now, day 4, yesterday, we did the wow day, which was to travel out of the body with your awareness and find out what that's like for you. Now, these first 4 steps are what it takes to activate your awareness. Now, the interesting thing about this is that you don't have to do it perfectly. So listening to it, going through the process is enough to activate it, even if you were falling asleep, even if you feel like you couldn't do it, even if you felt like a total failure for these first 4 days, you already activated that base level awareness. Now, to get to the next step, of course, what you have to do is practice. And we're going to continue to practice in here, but I've also made some notes on what are easy ways that you can practice and start applying this in your daily life, because practice shouldn't be difficult. It shouldn't be something you have to sit down and schedule 20 minutes to do twice a day or 3 times a day. It should just be something that you can do all the time in your daily life because you're excited about it and you're having fun. And so I want to give you a couple of tips on how to practice your awareness in that way. Okay, so for the easy applications are just if you're not feeling present or you're feeling kind of spacey, then try that exercise where you breathe your eyes closed and stay present in the body. This is really good for getting your attention and awareness back to where it feels good. You can also work with that center of head space that we did on day 2, where if you're needing to be productive and focused, let your awareness be right in the center of your head. You'll notice that your productivity and your focus go way up. Now, you can use this awareness stretching that we did to really get into your body when you're waking up. I teach this to kids. I say that if you're when you wake up, just kind of imagine you're stretching down into your body, almost like you were stretching into a sleeping bag and getting your feet all the way in and your hands all the way in. So if you're the kind of person that has a hard time waking up, try this stretching exercise with your awareness to really get into the body there. You can also use the stretching if there's some place where you have weakness or pain in the body. You can stretch your awareness into that area, and oftentimes that's enough to kind of pop out of that stress state you're in. Now, you can also move your awareness to that place in the body and listen or have a conversation. And sometimes this is a great way to self-diagnose or get more information about what's happening in the body. We'll actually do that in the next section when we're going into your body awareness. But you can practice it now on your own if you like. Now, if you're feeling stressed, you can also use this traveling out of body experience to have a little mini kind of spiritual vacation. You can go to the moon or up to the solar system, or up to the edge of the universe. You can also just go to a place in your awareness that feels really peaceful and relaxing for you. You'll be surprised how much difference it can make just to get out and take a little spiritual vacation. Now, you can also use this traveling out of body if you're needing to get some more perspective. If you're feeling stuck on a particular issue, just think of the question that you're trying to solve and then go inside, get a little bit out of your body, like the corner of the room, and ask yourself the question. And then go up to the moon and ask yourself the same question. Then go out to the edge of the solar system and ask yourself that same question. Out to the edge of the universe, ask yourself that question. And you'll notice that you have different perspective at each of those levels. And oftentimes this is enough to help you get through feeling like you're stuck on a particular issue. So even though these seem like really kind of funny or abstract tools, there's very specific uses that you can use in your daily life and apply these right away. Okay, so if you're wanting to do a little more advanced practice, you can start to imagine that you're stretching your awareness outside of your body, so out into your aura and so on. You can also work with your awareness to visit places you haven't been before. Maybe take a vacation to a place that you want to go, but you haven't been before. So that's another little stretch. And you can also try out different sizes with your awareness. When you're traveling to the moon, let yourself be as big as the Earth to the moon. Let yourself be as big as the whole solar system or as big as the entire universe. This is really fun to play with your awareness in this level. Again, a little bit more advanced. Now, If you want to go into very advanced practice, what I'd recommend is that you play with multi-awareness. So having your awareness in more than one place at a time. And this is possible. You're doing it already. You probably just don't know you're doing it. My favorite example of this is one time when I was out four-wheeling. I had this four-wheel drive truck. I'm coming down this trail that I probably shouldn't have been on. And at one point I had to drive down over this big drop-off. And I didn't quite have enough room. So when I did it, my truck was kind of teetering back and forth. It actually hit my front bumper on the ground rather than my tires. And I kind of panicked. I was sitting there, felt like we were about to roll over because we were just teetering on this two tires. And I felt this little awareness, and I heard this voice over in the trees that said, "Let off the brake." And I'm used to listening to my guide, so I just let off my brake, the truck righted itself, everything was fine. And later in the day, I thought, I wonder who that was, who was helping me out. So I went into meditation, and I positioned myself on the other side of the road, of the trail, so I could see who it was. I could see myself in the truck, all stressed out, panicking. And then I could see somebody appear over here and tell me, let off the brake. Now, the strange part is that the person that appeared over there was me. It was actually me watching out for myself. And when I got that little surprise and that realization, that more aware me turned and looked directly at me and gave me a little wink. And I was really surprised. It's like, okay, I'm here watching myself. And then, of course, I'm also meditating and watching this whole thing. So I'm in at least 4 different places that I'm aware of, and at least 2 different time frames. And this was really fun. You'll notice that as you start to play with your awareness, you'll start to have strange and amazing experiences like this too. In fact, they're happening all the time for you, but you're just not aware of it yet. And that's why this program is so important, and why I want you to stick through for the whole 60 days, is that if you get your base level of fitness up in these 12 different areas, you'll start to have these experiences automatically. And it's just so fun. The next awareness that I want to help activate for you is your time awareness. And this is really important because if you're out of balance with your time awareness, it can feel pretty difficult. So for example, if you're mostly focused in the past, you can find that you'll feel very depressed, like there's no hope for the future. And sometimes people even have a very low will to live when the energy is primarily focused in the past. If you're really focused in the future, the opposite can happen. You can feel anxious, like really nervous all the time. You can feel like you're never able to get enough or achieve enough. And if you're focused on the future, sometimes you're also not productive. There's just, you have a lot of ideas, but you're not able to make them happen. Now, of course, if you're focused in the present, everything's pretty good. You're usually pretty calm, you're pretty happy, you're pretty productive. But I encourage you to develop all 3 of these. You want to be happy and love being with your present time awareness, with your past awareness, and with your future awareness. There's not a bad one. You just want to have balance, and primarily you want to be in the present moment, because that's where the really powerful stuff happens. So to start developing this, we're going to do the same 6 steps that I recommend for developing your awareness. And the first step is a little self-assessment and changing your habits. So let's do that right now. Now, go ahead and find that point across the room and start to breathe and focus your energy right behind your eyes. And on your next inhale, go ahead and breathe your eyes closed. Good. Now move your awareness to the center of your head. And take a little stretch. Just stretch your awareness to the left, stretch it to the right, stretch it to the front, stretch it to the back, and stretch it above and below. And imagine right now that there's a line beneath you that stretches out all the way to infinity on the left and all the way to infinity on the right. And one direction on this line represents the past for you, and one represents your future. And your body, of course, is right in the middle in present time. from this place in present, I want you to notice, how does the past line and the future line feel to you? Does one feel brighter than the other or darker than the other? Does one feel lighter or heavier than the other? Just notice. Now, focus on present time. Does present time feel light? Does present time feel bright? How does it compare to the past and the future? Now, whichever one of these is brightest for you is usually where your attention is most of the time. That's your primary focus. So just notice, are you primarily a past energy focus, present time energy focus, or future energy focus? And if you want to, I want you to imagine right now that you can balance these out. So all three of them look nice and bright, feel nice and light. Great. Now, forget about this timeline, just let it fade away. And with your eyes closed still, I want you to imagine that you're going to get up and you're just going to turn and start walking. Now, which direction would you go? Would you go to the left or would you go to the right? Now for you, whichever direction you wanted to go naturally is likely your natural future direction. So if that's the same direction that you saw on your timeline, then your mental timeline and your experience or awareness timeline match. But if they don't, for example, if you wanted to go to the left, but your mental timeline says the future is to the right, then I recommend that you flip your timeline over. So you can do, if you need to, just do that now so that your future timeline points the direction that you wanted to walk. If it was already pointing that way, just relax and congratulate yourself. Your mental timeline and your awareness timeline were in sync. Now, feel that timeline again, stretching out to the left and to the right. And notice which one feels more comfortable for you. Which one feels more familiar to you? The past side, the future side, the middle and the present moment. And give yourself permission to let them all be familiar and all be equally comfortable. Great. Now when you're ready, just breathe your eyes open. All right, welcome back. So I don't want you to think too much about this exercise. We're just self-assessing and we're just changing a habit there. So whatever you experienced, just go with that. This is just step one in this awareness. Now, step two, tomorrow will be your easy success day. You're going to use your awareness to sort of slide around and look at the past and look at the future. This is really fun. And that's your easy success day. The challenge day, you're going to move your awareness to different places. So you're going to kind of project yourself into the past, into the future, and get a little bit more kind of 3D version of that. It's really fun. The wow day, we're going to actually start to modify your timeline. So you're going to look at what timeline you're on, where's your momentum carrying you, and you'll learn how to adjust that and change that. Now, of course, after that, I'll teach you some ways to practice, but I'd like you to practice right away. And what you can do today is start to notice how many future and past thoughts that you're having for today. And notice that how does this affect your personality? So for example, if you're thinking a lot about how could I have done that better, or you're reminiscing a lot about the past, then you're probably focused on the past. If you're the type of personality that forgets things really easily or is always dreaming about the future, then you're probably thinking about the future. If you're one of those lucky people that's just kind of happy and calm and in the present moment, then that's great. Then you're focused in present time. So just notice today what's happening with you and try to balance those out. And of course, I'd love if you share. That's step 6 in the recipe for success in your awareness, is to share your experience to help that integrate more deeply into your awareness. And also, it's just a lot of fun. So thanks so much for today, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.